Eric, so nicely put. We have a lot of PowerPoint to go through, so I apologize. I'm going to try to make it as exciting as it can be. Yeah. So the first question people might ask is, why are we doing these things? Why are we looking at these strategies that people employ to play the game? It's quite...
Yeah, and it's going to be something to do with, like, how are they going to word this, I wonder? So obviously it's because of bad survivors, right? That's why. They refuse to change the game's balance to hooks, and they get all the data from kills, you know, the kill percentage bullshit. So yeah, why are they? What are they going to say?
Simple. Face camping, tunneling, and slugging were...
Wait, you can't face camp? You can't face camp anymore?
In the top 5 reasons for people uninstalling the game.
So I don't know where can you get it? So are they doing like a survey? And then in the top of the survey, why did you uninstall the game? And they said slugging, tunneling, camping. I've said this before, right, regarding this. These people, especially tunneling is like the big one. Slugging, they've got some kind of, not really, because your fucking teammates can pick you up. But face camping, you know, full on face camping when you could actually do it. Yeah, like it's not the most fun experience. I get that. But tunneling, like, and I've said this before and I'll say it again. If you have a match where you're going against a strong killer, like an S tier killer, let's say, and they're trying to tunnel you all game, and you're just getting chased nonstop and they can't get you, and you escape, that's going to be one of the best matches that you've ever had on DBD. It's going to be a match that you tell people about, you know, who are interested in DBD. Like, it's going to be something that just, like, stands out to me. It isn't the tunneling which is the issue. It's them losing when they're getting chased because they're not good in chase. That's what they don't like.
And, you know, we as developers and myself as a player, we want the game to last long. So to make sure that that happens...
Also, they're saying this. Why are people... What's a major factor in players uninstalling? I think a lot of people, if they haven't uninstalled, they've moved away from killer as well. Like, a lot of people aren't having as much fun with killer anymore. Why is that not in the conversation, or is it? Because when I talk with you guys, and even myself, like, we're not playing killer as much. And people have uninstalled because, you know, they didn't care for Survivor. So, yeah, I guess it's on these servers, but the servers will be biased anyway.
And that the game can keep going as long as it can, we have to address the issues that people have, or the players have within the game. So
again, tunneling isn't the issue. It's them dying to it because they're not good. That's what they're not liking. I know you don't get that, but seriously, like all these, like every single person on this planet who doesn't like tunneling, make it so whenever they get tunneled, they have the skill to never go down. And let's see if they still complain about tunneling. Case in point, they won't.
Face camping, slugging.
Their issue is dying to it. They don't like that they're not good. That's why they uninstall.
Tunneling are 3 of the issues that we have to address. Oh, right, I have the clicker.
Got the clicker.
Yeah, I forgot. That's so cool. Okay, so let me start by saying or explaining what face camping is. So usually it's described as the killer staying in very close proximity.
You can't face camp anymore. Oh my god. What the fuck? Dude, you can't face camp anymore. What are they on about? You can't face camp anymore. Yeah, describe to us the thing we can't do anymore. Go on.
Okay, so let me start by saying or explaining what face camping is. So usually it's described as the killer staying in very close proximity to a hooked survivor. And over here you can see there's a nice little picture where it shows you what face camping is, what proxy camping is.
You can't do that anymore. So what are you on about? Proxy camping. Like, oh my god. It's like you're just listening to Survivor main shit. Soon he's going to say, like, what's the weird shit they say with tunneling? Like proxy tunneling or something. I don't know. They just make stuff up. Proxy camping. You mean being 24 meters away, 24 fucking meters away from the hook is still camping. Yikes, dude. And they hide in the thing what says patrolling, by the way, but I'm guessing 25 meters and all.
And what patrolling is. So when you're very close to the hook, that's usually face camping. When you're,
You can't do that anymore.
Length away from the hook, that's proxy camping. You're just making sure the survivor's still there. And when you're a little bit
24
further,
plus
you're
or so.
patrolling. You're looking from afar, seeing no one's going for the save. Okay.
Okay, this is just super survivor kind of like ideology, survivor thinking, not understanding the killer's mind at all. So when someone's on a hook, the killer isn't just thinking, I want that person on the hook. The killer is doing lots of things. They're looking for specific gens. They're looking for specific like movement from the survivors. They may be breaking a pallet somewhere, which is a really strong pallet. Like they're doing a lot of stuff, man. They're not just like, I'm going to stay about this distance from the hook and that's the strategy. Like, it's not that simple, devs. You don't understand. It's not that simple. Like, you're doing a lot more. I know from the survivor point of view, that's all they think. They think, oh, I can hear the killer's terror radius. They must be proxy camping. But they're doing a lot of stuff, guys. Like, they're doing a lot of stuff. It's not this, like, black and white as you're making it.
So that's basically what the different steps or stages of camping are.
Stages of camping? Oh, my God.
It's a PowerPoint presentation. I figured it would be very nice to have some key data points. So
This is like literal just listening to a survivor who doesn't play Killer, man. The stages of camping. Are you fucking kidding? Devs, when the killer's playing, they're not thinking, I'm gonna just like... It's so weird. You're thinking it from the point of view of a salty survivor on a hook, looking at the killer, and then doing all these like weird mental gymnastics in their head to create this thing what the killer's thinking. They're not thinking that. The only time I think that I want to secure a hook stage is when they get close to the hook stage. That's the only time I do it. I don't put someone on the hook and then I'm like, right, I'm just going to stay here and that's it. Like, and a lot of the top killers won't do that. There's going to be a lot more nuance to it. It just sounds like it's from like a survivor main on the hook who's super salty. And that's what they're talking about.
Went and looked at the data because I think sharing data is always useful. So overall...
Your data is fucking atrocious though, devs. You do kill percentage still and want a game about going for fresh hooks.
We have seen that since the start of 2025, face camping, so the closest proximity to the hook, has not really had any...
Bullshit. Right, so if face camping has not seen a major shift, either it was massively exaggerated and didn't actually happen, or they're lying. They're the two options. Because making it where you physically can't face camp anymore, if people were face camping all the time, there would be a big shift. True or false? So either face camping were a massively blown up narrative and weren't actually a real thing, or it has seen a major shift. You can't have both.
Major shift. It's been pretty steady, which is kind of a weird thing to talk about, but that's...
Yeah, it makes no sense. That's why.
That's the data. Patrolling, which is when you're further than 20 meters away, has increased a little bit. So killers tend to stay closer to the hook by about 3 seconds as opposed to, before 2025.
So even though you've made it where killers get more punished for staying close to the hook, they're still doing it, and you're not wondering why they're doing something like that. Maybe because you've increased the pallets by like 2 times, something like that. Like, why do you think these killers are doing it? It isn't because they want the survivors to have a bad time. I know you've got like the survivor main emotional kind of, creating all these like weird conspiracy theories that the killer's just out to get them, right? But they're not. They're just trying to win the video game. And the harder you make it for killers to go for chasers, the less chasers they're going to do. So that's probably why they're being closer on average by 3 seconds. They have less chance to actually go for more chasers, especially the weaker killers. Having more pallets on them on the games on the maps, it's going to make them even less viable to go for chasers.
And surprisingly, which is something that I think is fascinating.
No, it isn't. That makes sense as well. If you take longer to rescue, you're on the gens longer, and then you can trade hook. So why is this interesting? This just means that you're on gens longer. You're more efficient on gens.
Because it could imply that survivors are learning to not rush unhooks, which is great. Survivors take more time to go for rescues, so you will leave your teammate on the hook.
What that means there is they do 7 seconds more on gens on average, by the way. So gen efficiency has gone up by 7 seconds on average.
For a little longer because you're going to finish that gen.
But the devs won't understand that. Or maybe they will, but they won't mention it.
And
it's higher gen efficiency.
A good thing. So yeah.
Higher gen efficiency. Higher gen efficiency is a good thing.
Appreciate.
Dante for the 25 months.
Variety streamer.
Yeah, Killer In's gonna be awesome, man. So they just said they're happy with gen efficiency there. Did you hear that?
Good job. Time to go for rescues. So you will leave your teammate on the hook for a little longer because you're going to finish that gen. And that's usually a good thing. So yeah, good job.
What the fuck? It's a good thing that you're finishing gens more efficiently when you want the killer to go for more chases when the gen's already way too quick. Like, what? I'm so confused. Like, none of it makes any sense, dude. He's saying smart play, so good job that they've improved. I guess you could say that. But it's like they're improving on it is a negative to the overall chasers. It's a negative to all that kind of stuff.
And then the last thing I wanted to talk about for key data points is when the result...
Like, I get it. Them playing better is, you know, yeah, that is good for them, but it's overall bad for the game. Like, it means they're doing more gens. It means the gens are going quicker. The gens go quicker, the less chasers.
Bar fills, so that's the bar that fills up when you're being camped. There's a 10% increase in escape rates. So the face camping mechanic or reduction that we implemented, I think it was last year, 2 years ago, actually has an impact on how the matches go.
So you give them a 10% higher escape rate for free, and you want to give them even higher, right?
So here is a breakdown by MMR. So you can see that low MMR killers tend to face camp more
I said they would.
than mid or high MMR killers. And in terms of maps, Raccoon City Police Department West Wing is the highest percentage for face camping, and Wretched Shop is the lowest.
West Wing is because the hook is in the middle of the map and where 2 generators spawn. There you go. Mystery solved.
And I put some stars beside those because while that's what the data says, we would have to do a deep dive as to like why that is, because we could
Just said.
argue that, you know, RCPD is very narrow. It's got, you know, not a lot of room, so you spend more time near hooks without really wanting to. But I think it's interesting to share that these are the highest and lowest.
And that will be it as well. Like, you will be... Wait. Are they calculating, on average, for our whole match, how close you've been to hooks? Oh my... I think they are. So I'm assuming the game would probably have a quite high percent rate if I could see all of them. That's why they talk about patrolling increasing.
As to why, I don't know. Maybe you can tell me.
Uh,
So what are the goals with the
I hate listening to the text, man. I hate it.
face camping updates in the upcoming PTB? The first is to bridge the gap between solo players and survivor with friends. And
Oh my god. God damn it. So, a million years ago, before all this nonsense and before the game like kind of just self-imploded on itself, I said that they'll never be able to bridge the gap between solo and Swift. They'll consistently have to do all the buffs. They'll consistently have to like do this stuff to kill her. Like I thought they'd actually buff Killer more. That I got wrong so far. But I thought they'd have to consistently buff solo, and then because of that, they'll have to buff Killer, right? Because it's going to make them less and less viable. And instead of doing that, they could have just nerfed Swift. They could have just done an action debuff or something on Swift, and then they wouldn't need to do all this crazy shit. And then maybe add text to speech, not text to speech, sorry. Where you could just type to each other as solo players. Like you press enter, you just type something, press enter. Just having something like that would have bridged the gap in less than a year. And it's still nowhere near the way they wanted to do it.
And it'll all make sense in just a second. And the other one is to make the
anti-facecamp mechanic fairer for both sides. I'm curious about what they're on about with that.
Anti-facecamp mechanic fair for both sides. So you may, as killer, have experienced the meter filling up too soon after you've hooked someone, or you've hooked someone in the basement and you hook another survivor, and the first one's filling up their meter. There's a lot of scenarios where it could feel a little oppressive. So what's next? In the upcoming PTB, you'll be able to test and hopefully give us a lot of feedback. The resolve bar, when being camped, will be visible to all survivors. So
oh my god. Go.
That means if I'm being camped,
more UI just telling you everything.
And Diego is
Oh, dude, they've taken away any like mental skill from this game, haven't they? At least from the survivor end. Like there is very, very little mental skill for survivor. Like you don't need to like make a read on anything like anymore. Can you remember when we used to play Survivor and you had to make a read not only that if the killer was at the hook, but also if another teammate were going for the hook? Can you remember having to make these reads and having actual good game sense? And now the UI just tells you everything. Well, add more, I guess. So now they get a resolve bar as well. Okay.
On the other side of the map, he will see the resolve bar filling on the HUD. So he'll be able to tell one that...
Wait, is there a reason to even have Kindred? Think about it. The resolve bar will only move when the killer's near the hook. So they're essentially giving base kit Kindred, no? You know the killer's at the hook. They've indirectly give base kit Kindred, guys. Kindred is way more info. Yeah, but Kindred is a perk. This is for free. You're going to know when the killer's at a hook, guys, for free. Kindred tells which direction the killer's going. Yeah, it's not exact Kindred. It's like a weaker version of it. Unless there's a survivor nearby pushing the meter. Yeah, true. No, you'd see the chase. So that if a survivor was at the hook and the resolve bar wasn't moving, that would mean that the killer would be chasing that person, right? Or near that person. Yeah, it's a weaker than normal Kindred. Dude, Kindred 3 would be insane.
But also with the
But it does give you a bit of it, man. It does give you a bit of it for free.
The next thing is the meter will fill up faster based on how long the killer stays within proximity of the hook. So this is really cool because first we've also decreased the rate at which it fills baseline. So the killer's not penalized for walking by or anything like that. It's really just if you...
It goes 200% faster, by the way. When it hits the 4x, that's 200% faster. How fast does it move up? Does it say?
Spend a lot of time near the hook, it will fill up much faster, up to 200% of the life value, which is 10 charges per second.
Super quick,
and then
200.
the last thing we did as well is we increased the range.
Why are they not saying how long it takes? That kind of matters. Like if it was 1x for 1 second, then 2x for 1 second, and then 4x for the rest, that'd be a lot different to 1x for 30 seconds or something, right? Or maybe 1x for 15 seconds, 2x for 15 seconds, then 4x. 1x, 15, 2x 30, and then 4x after. Increase the range. Yeah. 20 meters is camping, guys. 20 meters is camping. You're going to get a lot of people jumping off hooks.
Of the anti-facecamp radius to 20 meters. So it's a little bit more punishing in a way if you decide to stick within.
What if the hook you've put them on strategically is near like 3 really good gens? Do you just have to leave, or they just get to jump off the hook? Guess so, right?
20 meters with a hatchet pulled out, or
I guess 8 gen kick limit isn't enough. Now they need to jump off hooks as well.
other scenarios. Oh, right, and there's one last thing I forgot. So initially, when you hook a survivor, there's a 7-second grace period before the meter starts filling up. But that wouldn't only apply to when you hook that specific survivor. So in my example, where you hook a second survivor in the basement.
How are they going to make it more fair for killers? I think they've already said it. I think this is their belief of it's fair. It's 50% of the live value for X amount of time. I think that's what they're on about. Oh, and the grace period, 7 seconds. You have 7 seconds where it doesn't move, and then you have the 50%. I think that's what they're on about. that makes it fair, apparently, by buffing the fucking radius by 20 meters.
And that first survivor that you hooked will still be filling up that meter. Now, with the upcoming PTB, if you hook a second survivor, it will put the grace period on all hooked survivors within the area that you're in. So you won't be penalized.
It might be worse. It might be worse. It might actually be worse than what I just said. It might only be if you hook a second survivor. One sec.
Thing I forgot. So initially, when you hook a survivor, there's a 7-second grace period before the meter starts filling up. But that wouldn't only apply to when you hook that specific survivor. So in my example, where you hook a second survivor in the basement, that first survivor that you hooked will still be filling up that meter. Now, with the upcoming PTB, if you hook a second survivor, it will put the grace period on all hooked survivors within the area that you're in. So you won't be penalized for doing that.
Wait, what? Wait.
With the upcoming PTB, that specific survivor. So in my example, where you hook a second survivor in the basement, that first survivor that you hooked will still be filling up that meter.
What the fuck? So if you down someone and put them on a hook in the basement, right? And then you down someone else who's up there, and then you grab them and you walk towards the basement. Let's say they looped. No, how would that be? Because if you're chasing them near a hook, they don't get the thing though, do they? Dude, there's so many fucking hoops you need to jump with Killer. This is why I stopped playing Killer as much, man. It's just tedious.
Now, with the upcoming PTB, if you hook a second survivor, it will put the grace period on all hooked survivors within the area that you're in. So you won't be penalized for doing that.
But you need to hook them.
Now, with the upcoming PTB, if you hook a second survivor, it will put the grace period on all hooked survivors within the area that you're in. So you won't be penalized for doing that.
What? What's different here? I don't get it. He says when you hook them. So they still would have the regression happen until the hook happens now. I know, it's fucking mad, young. I don't understand it. So, look.
One last thing I forgot. So initially, when you hook a survivor, there's a 7-second grace period before the meter starts filling up.
Right, so when you hook someone, there's a 7-second period before the meter starts filling, the resolve meter.
But that wouldn't only apply to when you hook that specific survivor. So
obviously, it'll apply on everyone, the 7-second grace period. Yeah.
In my example, where you hook a second survivor in the basement,
yeah,
that first survivor that you hooked will still be filling up that meter. Now, with the upcoming PTB, if you hook a second survivor, it will put the grace period on all hooked survivors within the area that you're in.
Right, okay. This is fucking minor as hell. Okay, so it used to be when someone was hooked in the basement, when you would walk down and hook someone else, their resolve bar would keep going until you hook them, and it would continue to go as you move away. Now, when they go down to the basement, it's going to keep going when you hook them, but when you do eventually get the hook, then the 7-second grace period, once again, makes you immune to both of them. So you probably gain, I don't even know, a bit. There, okay, I see. It's very minor. And added on top of the 20 meters, it's probably going to just negate itself anyway.
So you won't be penalized for
and the 1x, 2x, and 4x, by the way. Like, all that's just going to negate it.
And here we have a beautiful video of Meg watching Claudette's demise. And I zoomed in on... Oh, maybe we want... Yeah, thank you. I zoomed in on the HUD so that we can see the resolve bar filling. And so that's the first thing you'll notice, is that it's visible. But the second thing you'll notice is that as the trapper just sticks around there, it'll fill up faster and faster, which is what we were saying. Well, what I was just saying about it filling up faster based on how long you... The second thing...
Let's see how long it takes. We can time this, seeing as they don't want to give us the numbers. Wait.
You'll notice is that as the trapper just...
Okay, let's go from 50.
Sticks around there, it'll fill up faster and faster, which is what we were saying. What I was just saying about it filling up faster based on how long you stayed near the hook.
8, 9,
and
10,
hopefully,
11, 12,
with the
13,
visible
14,
resolve bar,
15,
you'll
16,
see, again,
17,
hopefully, teammates
18,
make
19,
more informed
20,
decisions about
21,
the state of the game,
22,
right? Like in terms of
23,
macro, what's going on,
24,
where you should be, what you should be
25,
doing in
26,
the moment to moment.
27,
I think it'll be really helpful, but
29,
you know, again,
30,
you guys can test it out
31,
and give feedback on it
32,
because that's the whole point.
33,
We're putting you on the nice
34,
PTB so you guys can test
35,
it and give us some
35
insights as to
seconds they can get off if you stand there.
what it's like.
Jump in there just 'cause
How fast was it
thank you.
going? Because I
That's what
weren't
was
looking.
gonna
I was
say.
looking at the time. It's 35 seconds
Probably
if you just
sick of
stand
me
there.
saying it. We really are testing these features.
So
in
it's
the
half.
CTV.
It's exactly half of how long
Don't
they can be on.
start being really upset that this is already in the game and I hate it. What we want
At 31, the bar was already full. Oh, well.
With hands-on, not just based on the information.
There's the damage control.
Try it out. Let us know how how it feels if you're a killer, how it feels if you're a survivor, and then we'll go from there and see what we're gonna do. And that's the
They know. They know, like, they've just been stupid with this shit. Like, the fact that they need to, like, reiterate that it's just a PTB, guys, just relax. Like, they know that they're pushing some, like, super stupid shit continually. This is the second time they've tried to push this stupid shit.
case for each of the things that we're going to present today.
Yes, and everything else as well. Right, so...
Don't worry, guys. We're making it so the killer can teleport on top of you and kill you instantly. But don't worry, it's just a PTB. We just want feedback. Like, it doesn't matter that it's just a PTB. If you're pushing some really crazy shit, people are going to say you're pushing crazy shit, man.
Let's move on to the next one. What is tunneling? Well, tunneling is usually just...
What is tunneling? Oh, this is going to be bad. So already, and I've known this for like quite a while with the devs, they talk from a super entitled survivor main perspective, right? They don't talk about it like some normal thing. They talk about some like super just crybaby, entitled man-child survivor. That's what I've noticed. So let's see if they do talk about this in a more objective, fair state. Let's see.
Described when you go for the same survivor until they are out of the match.
Yep, that's true. That is true. That is literally what tunneling is. You go for the same survivor back to back and ignore everything until that one person is out of the match. That is true.
Here we can see Nia with zebra pants.
So far objective.
Being targeted by the skull merchant. Maybe that expresses my feelings towards zebra pants. Maybe it doesn't. That's for you to figure out. So, key data points. Throughout 2025, we have seen a slight drop in tunneling. These percentages are the average percentage of tunneling happening in matches.
You won't be able to get this data. This isn't real. You can't get this data. The only thing they can see is one person dying on 1, 2, or 3 hooks. That's all they can see. They don't know if it was tunneling, because you can spread pressure throughout the whole map and still go for the same person on hook. They can't get this data. This isn't real.
So 44% of matches will or had tunneling occurrences in January. And when I say tunneling, there's different ways that we're analyzing it. The first one is when you go for one survivor and only one survivor from the start of the match.
What's your other way? That's the only way you can tunnel. Okay.
There's also when you go for consecutive hooks, not necessarily the first survivor that you find, but you just, get the second survivor out of the match quickly.
So you hook someone and then hook someone different, but then you go after them back to back. That's already not tunneling, by the way. Not like legit tunneling. Tunneling's going after one target, it's not 2. So that's already a bastardized version of tunneling.
And then there's the last one, which I'm completely blanking out on, but this is the overall of all these scenarios that we analyzed with the data. And as you can see,
so there's 3 different ways to tunnel, but he's only going to tell us 2 because he's forgot what the third is. Did he just say that? I know what he's wanting to say. Is he wanting to say going for 2 separate people back to back? Is that what he's wanting to say? But it would sound kind of embarrassing, so he didn't. Like, what is he wanting to say there? He's got a PowerPoint presentation and he's blanked out on remembering what the third tunneling thing were. Ping-ponging 2 survivors. I think that's what he wants to say, but we can only speculate.
Today, this morning, when I got the last bit of data, it's down to...
No, 6 hooks tunnel. No. That's so bad. That's like the worst tunneling ever. You went for 6 hooks and 2 separate people. Fucking hell, that's such a bad tunnel.
40%, which is a 4% drop. It's pretty
So 40% of people only do that as well. Fucking hell.
important. And then if we look at the breakdown by MMR...
Wait, I just realized as well. Oh, it's even worse. So if one person, they're gathering this data, which is shit data once again. If one person got hooked once, twice, and then 3 times, but obviously you can't tell in the game that the killer could have been pressuring many people, could have been slugging with some people, could have hooked them but decided not to. Already that's kind of bad data, right? So imagine them trying to gather data where they only see 2 survivors who have died before the other 2, and they're going to classify that as they've got tunneled, even though anything could have happened in that match. Like, you could have literally gone for a third person and they got flashlight saved, and then you end up going for someone else. So you tunneled because the person you were going to hook got saved. So now you need to hook someone you already hooked, right? The tape people giving up into account too? Oh no, that's even worse. Dude, these stats are so bad, dude. Come on, devs, give me some stats what are good, please, at least. Please.
Of what we saw with camping. So
please.
Low MMR killers
something that makes
tend
sense.
to tunnel less than high MMR killers, which is also interesting. And, we could...
It's meaningless. Your data doesn't mean anything like usual.
Extrapolate as to why. One hypothesis is that high MMR survivors are just more efficient. So therefore, tunneling feels like the most efficient way to, combat their efficiency. But that's another thing that you guys can, theory craft on and help us understand. And then in terms of maps, the Treatment Theater has the highest percentage of tunneling, and Gas Heaven has the lowest. And same thing as with camping.
This is such pointless
You have to do a deep dive and try to understand exactly why this is the case. But I thought it was interesting that Treatment Theater, I definitely didn't expect that one to be,
I feel like these devs don't understand how much depth the game can actually have with killer, with strategies. They see it so one-dimensional. They see it so shallow. Kill percentage, tunnel percentage. Like, there's so much nuance, man. There's so much what can happen, which can define which survivor dies, which survivor lives. how many hooks you get. Like, there's so much stuff. 2 years you won't be allowed to put someone on death hook unless every survivor was at least... yeah.
Number one, but it is. And then Gas Heaven, I mean, the map is pretty strong for survivors, so, you know, maybe it has something to do with that. But again, if you guys want to, you know...
Yeah, what if a survivor body block the teammate? What about... yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
I think it's super cool to see all the discussions happen. So what are the goals with tunneling? We want to ensure that every player's time...
Dude. I know this is why you like me reacting to the fucking DVD devs. They just blow my mind with like, we want to ensure that every player's time is respected. So that's why you don't want tunneling. Like, what's the correlation here? What does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean, man? Like, if it was about slugging, maybe, right? Because, like, they're on the floor not doing anything. But getting chased back to back to back is not respecting your time? What does that mean? I don't know what that means.
Is respected, and we also want to make sure that when you queue up, it means that you...
Guys. Is getting chased not playing? I'm so confused. Isn't getting chased the most fun thing? Wanting to ensure that queuing up means you get to play? Like, do you think this is like picking someone for a team in football and someone gets left out and substituted or something? What do you mean? If anything, the person getting told is the person who mainly is playing, no? And the people on gens are like the substitutes. Are they talking about it from the people on gens' perspective? But they don't need to do gens. They can try and body block the person getting tunneled. I'm so confused. I'm so confused. What are they seeing? Why can I not understand the dev's perspective at all? Like, I literally cannot understand what they are seeing or thinking. Like, can you explain this to me, guys? Who isn't playing when you queue up? You think they mean they don't want people to get outed faster? So people playing bad at the game is them not playing the game? Is that what they mean? They're not playing because they're playing bad? Is that it? If you get tunneled, you'll be eliminated faster than everyone. Is he talking about if you get tunneled and your team don't try and help with body blocks and trying to save you, and you're not very good at Survivor, you will die quicker, thus meaning you are out of the game quicker? Is that what it means? Right. So instead of them getting better and your teammates playing better, they want to basically handhold it again, is what they're saying. And they want me to read that and be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Right, okay. I think that might be what they're on about. That's why it makes no sense. Okay.
Get to play the match. I'm sure that our Survivor players have already had this happen to them, where they go into a match and they're out within like the first 2 minutes, and it never really feels nice because sometimes you queue up for a little bit longer than that, sometimes even longer.
Yeah, you're right. it doesn't feel nice because they're not good at the video game. So the killer should be punished. The killer, who is better than the opponent, beats their opponent, and their opponent feels bad about it, and it isn't too fun for them. So they need to punish the killer somehow and help the opponent. Right.
On what kind of game modes are on. But the point is, when you queue up, we would like you to be able to play the game and just have fun, which is the most important part.
Who's having fun? The survivors, because there's killers playing as well, right? Like people both get the game to have fun. We want to ensure that player agency is retained. What do you mean?
And we also want to ensure that player agency is retained. And I'll expand on that a little bit, and I think it's the next slide or the one after that. But we want to ensure that player agency is retained, and we want to put the onus on the survivor.
The onus.
So.
Good use of the word onus.
Thank you. I
Just
feel
wanted to
smart.
say.
I feel smart. So the key learnings from the PTB. The first one is that the players found the proposed solution too intrusive, and to refresh everyone's memory.
Isn't this very similar though, so far?
On the PTB, the last PTB that we had the Unhook protections for survivors.
Oh yeah, no, I remember now. It was fucking insane. I just remembered. I completely forgot how bad it were. Never mind. It was fucking mad. It made it so you literally couldn't like kick a gen or something, didn't it? If you... Okay, yeah, never mind. Yeah, that was insane. I forgot.
We had the killer penalties if you did tunnel. We had the killer bonuses. And all of these things together felt like it was a little too much, which is a very fair point. And I think that the last PTB gave us some really good insight as to what worked and what didn't. So
no, it gave you insight of how far you can push things. So you're doing kind of what like pay to win stuff does, right? Where they put something out where it's like super bullshit, and then there's loads of controversy, and it's like, what the hell? Like you literally pay and you could just win this. And they're like, okay, well, we've learned from this. And then they push it just a bit less. And then maybe there's more controversy. So they're like, okay, we'll put it a bit less. And then they try and find that spot where they can push it to a stupid point, but it sounds so much more reasonable to what it used to be, right? That's what they're doing. To me, it looks like that.
I want to say thank you for all the feedback that you guys gave, because it really helped us. It helped inform our next steps for this feature. The second point is what I was just saying from the previous slide, is that players want to retain their agency. They want to be able to make those decisions. They want to be able to feature. The second point is what I was just saying from the previous slide, is that players want to retain
the previous slide.
Their agency. They want to be able to make those decisions. They want to be able to make the call. They want to be able to play the game the way they want without being told you can't do that or you can't do this.
But you do that. What do you mean you do that? There's loads of stuff you can't do now. So this is like just BS.
Which, again, is a very, very fair point.
Yeah, it is fair that people want to play a certain way, but you don't allow it. So this is BS.
And then to build up on that, a lot of players felt that the solution in the previous PTB held their hand too much.
I actually think DVD might be the most hand-holding game I think I've ever played. I don't think I'm exaggerating. I think it might be the most hand-holding game I've ever played. Seriously. It's absolutely insane how much hand-holding it has.
So it was, you got a unique hook, so now you get like a gen kick bonus, or you got the aura reveal, and then I think the way that it was described, which I thought was a really good way to describe it, was that it felt very, very cookie cutter. There was one right way to play the game, and if you didn't do it, then you were kind of like shooting yourself in the foot, which is not super cool.
You're wrong. They've actually got this wrong as well. This is fucking insane. This is really weird. So when he talks about things being handheld, let me go back. He goes to killer, by the way. Do you notice that when he talks about the hand holding?
And then to build up on that, a lot of players felt that the solution in the previous BTB held their hand too much. So it was,
And now let's see the example of someone being having their hand held too much.
you got a unique hook, so now you get like a gen kick bonus, or you got the aura reveal, and
It goes straight to killer stuff. And he's actually wrong with this, what he's about to say.
And I think the way that it was described, which I thought was a really good way to describe it,
It isn't.
was that it felt very, very cookie cutter.
It isn't.
There was one right way to play the game, and if you didn't do it, then you were kind of like shooting yourself in the foot.
You're completely getting this wrong, man. So if you do incentivize healthier ways of playing, i.e. fresh hooks, and you give a massive boost for the killer for it, they organically can start doing that, but still have the option not to do that and just not get the bonus of it. This is the best way to make killers play in more fun ways. And you're completely going the opposite direction, saying that it's cookie cutter, right? Like what? Like this is the one thing that they could have potentially done right, and they're moving away from that. It's so weird, dude. If you don't like anyone, just stop playing that all. Talking like Professor here, what a show. You earning from streaming and talking shit about the game. Funny PS is this stream. There's an emotional guy. You see that? Basically, who cannot play without tunnel as killer. It's skin issue. Don't blame anyone. Yeah, massive cope, dude. Massive cope. I tunnel me. When I play Survivor, tunnel me. See how it goes. I'm actually good at the video game.
Which is not super cool. So what's next?
Can I just say before you say what?
Yes.
That's crazy, though. That's crazy. So he talked about hand-holding and then just went straight to killer. And then said, no, it's not good doing that. It's not good rewarding the killer for going for fresh hooks. That's literally what he said, right? Weird.
Watching chat hang on every
Skin issue, yeah.
every bullet. Reacting to each bullet before you get to the next one is great. It's great.
So it's positive.
People
good
are
stuff.
locked in and they have
Okay,
lots
good,
of thoughts
good. I'm
before
glad-
they know what you're going to do.
Great. I'm glad that the PowerPoint
Hang on
is working.
every word. Okay.
So what's next? The first one is that survivors will get their unhook protections. And I'm going to go into...
I love how he was saying that things were getting handheld too much. And then he talked about killer for a bit. And there's like, anyway, yeah, they'll get the unhook protections, and they'll just say loads of handhold and shit doesn't matter, just watch. And people just eat this up, right?
the more detail what each of these means. This is just like a high level of what is next. The killer will get some bonuses.
Oh, okay.
And there are no more killer penalties, which I
Good.
think was the
Okay.
most polarized.
As I said, when I see good things, I will say, killer gets some bonuses, so I'm assuming he's going back on what he said. The killer will be incentivized. And the killer getting no penalties, that's good. The penalties were insane. Using the stick, as I said.
Topic in the previous VTB is the penalties. So there's no more penalties. We're good?
We're
Okay.
good,
I thought there was something else. Okay.
I'll jump in if I need to, but you're
All
doing
right.
great.
Good.
That was the best slide.
So unhook protections, most of it is the same, but there are some differences with what was on the last PTB.
Okay.
So you still get 10% haste.
Yeah.
You still get the endurance
I can't think it's serious. Go on. What was all the things you get? Go on. Just do it.
status effect, which means that if you get hit, you'll go into deep wound instead of going down.
Yep.
There's the new status effect
Yep.
elusive, which means that you cannot be revealed. You will leave no pools of blood.
But they don't want to handhold as much.
No scratch marks, and you make no grunts of pain. One thing that we added as well is that you will make no sounds, so you won't be, coughing or puking or stuff like that, because some killers had very clever ways of bypassing the system in the previous PTB.
And apparently you don't want kind of like variety, even though you said the opposite just about a minute earlier, saying that you didn't want stuff to just be cookie cutter, but go on.
You still do not accumulate AFK points, so AFK crows will not come into play if you are under the unhook protections. You will
Oh
still
my
see
God, it
kills
keeps
aura
going.
within 32 meters. And these are still lost when performing a conspicuous action or when being healed a full health state. And I think it's also important to remind people that when it's...
Why are you keeping this end one, devs? It gives them a free escape with no counterplay. Like, what is going on with you obsessed with this? You are obsessed with having this. It's so strange. You want to always make sure that people know at endgame you have 10% haste and endurance for free escapes for 10 seconds. Why are you so obsessed with telling people? Like, it's so weird to me. Like, why do they keep this? It's a free escape, devs. When it's weak killers, it's a free escape. They cannot stop the escape. It's uncounterable.
In endgame, these bonuses are mostly turned off. The only ones that are on are the 10% haste and endurance that are granted for 10 seconds, which is what it is currently on live.
Mm-hmm. Gives them a
So
free
here we
escape.
have a video again.
I do it all the
Meg
time.
is the star of the show. She gets unhooked, and I zoomed in on the status effects. You can see there's the endurance, there's the haste, and there's elusive. You see the killer's aura, and the survivor basically has a lot of tools to avoid the killer. This specific instance is a bot killer, so it's too smart. I can't outplay it. But what you just saw as well is, I'm going to play it again, just because I was
She were using it offensively, yeah. Why did it show them using it offensively?
talking about. Can I go back?
Ain't she supposed to run away?
What
PowerPoint can do that.
Yeah, I have the clicker. I have the power, though, which is great. What you noticed as well is that Meg was trying to, stop the killer from go after Jake, which is one of the key differences that we have compared to the last PTB, which is that the survivor no longer loses collision with unhook protections. So, key differences. We have removed the no collision from unhook protections, and we've decreased the killer aura reveal to 10 seconds. So it doesn't last the entire duration of the unhook protections. And you might ask why? Well, we saw in the previous BTB that survivors were weaponizing both of these effects to go for aggressive plays as opposed to trying to survive, which is the intended goal.
When you turn them into Terminator, they will abuse it. There's no reason not to. Like, you can use this as, strengths, right? Like, I could do this, equip DS, and then I could try for like a flashlight save or a pallet save. And as long as if you've downed someone within the 30 seconds, I have no penalty to trying that. I can just try and go for any of this stuff and have no penalty to it. So of course, why would I not do that? You're giving it to me for free.
Goal of the unhook protections is to put you in a spot where you can make better decisions to survive. What we saw was that killers who were actively trying to not tunnel were being punished by these things. Right, moving on. Killer bonuses. So upon a unique hook, which is hooking you.
So as I said, the only way to make this work against anyone good, and it still might not work, but is like a map-wide regression. If you got like a map-wide regression on unique hooks, I assure you, there will definitely be a massive uptake in going for unique hooks, because that is just way too good of a reward to not capitalize on. It doesn't mean you'll always go for it, but it means you have that option, and now you have that option, you're more inclined to do it, right? Because you have actually a good reward for it, don't you?
Different survivor from the last. So
they're not going to do that. They were the best they gave were pop, didn't they?
So I got hooked, and then Diego gets hooked.
Oh,
That's a unique bonus. Sorry.
I tried.
So
the first one is that you will gain Bloodlust for 15 seconds.
I heard you say this. Yeah, no, not worth so far. 0 point going for a fresh hook right now.
And the second is that you
0 point going for a fresh hook right now.
gain a stackable blood point multiplier on your match score. And the last thing that we did different from the previous BTB is that we have buffed a series of score events related to hooks. So now when you...
Dude, are they talking to us if they were like... I've said before, killer's like the unwanted child, right? And survivor's like the spoiled one. and they give everything to the survivor. And then the survivors gaslight the unwanted child, saying that they're the favorite one. This right here, where it's like they're talking to an unwanted child, being like, the first hooks are now 750 pp. You should be happy with that. You should be happy with that. What? How is this like a massive thing? Like, previously you just said this, right, Devs? You just said that for Survivor. You just said that, right? With no exclamation marks, nothing big, right? Just kind of like normal, treating them like a normal person. And when you talk to your unwanted child, what do? Wow! 750 BP? Whoa!
For example, when you get a first hook on a survivor, you get
Oh,
750
man.
blood points.
So
Instead
that's the killer
I think
bonuses, is it?
200. It was very low. Maybe 500. I'm not sure. I should have put it. Anyway, I forgot. So here's a video of the bonuses in action.
What bonuses?
I cut the previous part before that moment because
What bonuses? You mean Bloodlust? The only bonus you give is Bloodlust for 15 seconds. It's not even as long as what they get in one of their things. Theirs lasts for 30 seconds, right?
I was being looped by the Megbot for so long and I was so embarrassed. So I just cut to the point where I downed her. So as you can
So I saw this part, and I said to you before, the reason why this guy got looped for a while with a Megbot
being looped by
is
the Megbot
he's around a jungle gym here, look, and watch
so long
this.
and I was so embarrassed. So I just cut to the
He's left the fucking jungle gym pallet up against a bot as a mouse one. Of course he's not going to get her. It's a broken loop. It's a god pallet. You need to break it. The only reason you can get survivors at here sometimes is if you can red glow them. The bot has wall hacks. So it's an infinite that you can't get them. You need to break the pallet.
point where I downed her.
And him not knowing that is just, it's so bad. Read bottom left when hooked.
So as you can see here, I hook her. I have the Bloodlust bonus, so I'm moving slightly faster. And you can see the golden marker on the hook counter, which I don't know about you, but when I play with, I'm a survivor main, but when I play with Deja Vu and I have that yellow
Oh, you're a
bar,
survivor
it
main,
feels
yeah. We'll
really
never
nice.
be able to tell that.
Having that golden marker right there feels just as good.
That's good UX.
That's good UX. That,
Dude, they're so patronizing, it's unreal. It felt so good getting a golden thing as like all the gens explode around you. Are you taking the piss? Dude, I don't even know.
that's as a segue. Yeah, this is something we have been working together to be sure that it's also as understandable as possible when you're meeting this feature and it's enjoyable, even if you already know it by heart as a new as a engaged player. So every little effect that we work together, like also the fire that we used to have on the generator, that's UX. Yeah,
It feels really good. And then I'm gonna replay it again.
You know what would actually feel good? Getting a fresh hook and seeing a map-wide regression of every gen. That would be dopamine overload. That would feel good. This shit, nothing.
Just because there was a portion that we missed. But one thing that's important to note is that
Knowing that my chases are not in vain and I can actually win decent survivors because of good map regression and control, that would feel good.
more advanced players will probably ask the reason why Bloodlust, like it resets or goes down when you're not in chase, or there are rules with Bloodlust because it is a mechanic that we have in the game where it builds up during chase and it you lose it if you break a pallet or if you hit a survivor, and there's all these things. So for this particular instance of Bloodlust, you will keep it until you use your power. So too bad for Blight, I guess. or if you enter a chase. And the reason why is because with internal testing, we found that if you had Bloodlust and you would
This is, I can't believe, this is all they give for you going for a fresh hook. Are you taking the piss? They just give you Bloodlust, which deactivates when you do anything for 15 seconds. That's all you get for going for a fresh hook. It's insane.
just enter a chase, you could just continue building it up to, tier 2 and tier 3.
It's insane.
And that felt quite oppressive.
Won't do anything.
In certain scenarios. And of course, I will remind everyone, this is to test on the next BTB. So if you test it with the current iteration where it's tier 1 Bloodlust and you have feedback on that, please give that feedback. It's really, really crucial for us to develop this feature. And then the last bit over here is, again, I chased Claudette for so long to try to hook her a second time, and I just skipped to the part where I downed her, and now I hooked Claudette for a second time in a row.
Dude, I want to see the full fucking video and see how long he's chasing these bots. I don't know about you, but I want to see if it's like a legit thing or if he's just trying to be funny.
So I didn't get the golden hook marker, and I didn't get any bonuses from that.
Bonuses? Just Bloodlust, you mean? That's it.
I do not get a multiplier from that specific hook, and I also do not get Bloodlust. And I think that's something really important to note, is the blood point multiplier is based on the total count of unique hooks that you have, and not the sequence or the streak that you have. So if you happen to get 3 unique hooks, and then you kill the survivor off for whatever reason, you're not going to lose the initial multiplier that you
the BP,
accumulated so
yeah,
far, which is, I think, really cool. So I word vomited about a lot of stuff. I apologize. It's a lot of
You're doing
information,
great.
but
Like I said, people are locked in. You're doing fine.
I'm really glad, because I'm like, before I was like, there's a lot of slides, there's a lot of stuff to talk about, and I was very worried. So the fact that
This
people
is
are
my
locked
dream
in,
come true, Jeff. You're making my
is
dreams
great.
come true right now.
Cool. So key differences. Like I mentioned, we swapped the haste bonus for Bloodlust. We have removed
so it
the
don't stack.
bonus generated damage on the next kick, and we removed the aura reveal, also dubbed base kit barbecue.
So they fought bonus generator damage on next kick. You mean like pop? It's a lot more than just a bit of bonus damage. You did loads. Even that weren't enough, by the way. Having pop at base weren't enough, by the way, but they got rid of that, I guess. So they fought having haste and then getting bloodlust, even though you'd only get it for like maybe 5 seconds of the chase, was too much. So they had to just make it bloodlust so you can't stack it. And then they got rid of the aura reveal, so you can't see where the next targets are either. And they also got rid of the gem regression. I don't get it. How did they go on that PTP and just be like, yeah, we need to just get rid of everything for killer, but keep everything near enough the same for survivor? I don't get it. Is it just because the killer isn't punished now? Now they can't have, like, the nice stuff, like they want a child. Well, you didn't get punished today, so you're not allowed any nice stuff. When you get punished, we might give you some nice stuff to, counterbalance it. But without the punish, no nice stuff. Right.
And I want to really quickly touch upon each of these. So the reason why we switched haste to Bloodlust is specifically because haste doesn't have a limit to how it stacks with killer power.
But it only lasted 15 seconds, you mad lad. What do you think they're going to do in 15 seconds, man?
So that means that if you, for example, played the Spirit and you got haste from a uni hook, that would stack with the haste that you got from your power, which basically makes a strong killer even stronger. And that's not usually what we like. We don't want to make, the gap.
Why don't you just make it where it's haste, but they can't use their, secondary power to it? It doesn't need to be a mechanic what's already in the game. It could be a special mechanic just based on fresh hook.
between weaker killers and stronger killers wider, we want to try to make it smaller. So using Bloodlust allows us to do that because
Also, dude, they contradict constantly. Oh, they like you just said you want the game to have a smaller gap between the strong and weaker killers, but you've just recently added 2 times the amount of pallets in. Do you think that's going to widen or shorten the gap, devs? Like, this is why I pause so much, because they just constantly just contradict. They constantly just say like the most outlandish stuff. Like, it's crazy. Like, you've made the gap between stronger and weakest killers probably the biggest it's ever been with a pallet change.
again, if you use your power, you will not get the full benefit.
And goddamn, I'm going
like
on for ages
someone
with
like,
this.
You know, Trapper, for example, not likely to use his traps for mobility, so he'll probably get the full benefit from this bonus.
Well, maybe not. What happens if he has a trap with him and he sees there's a pallet near the hook, and then he goes to that pallet to put the trap there? He's not going to get it either.
And then the next two it goes back to what I was saying, where a lot of players felt that it would hold their hands into how they played the game.
You're going to say killer again with holding the hand, or are you using holding the hand in the wrong way?
And it felt very cookie cutter. Like there was one right way to play: is you would get a uni hook, you would go.
Yeah, it's talking about killers getting the hand held again. I think he's using it in the wrong way. Is he saying handheld as in like you're being told what to do? Because that's not handheld. On rails, yeah, maybe he means on rails.
Go to a gen, you would kick that gen, then you would see the aura, and you would go to there, and you would just rinse and repeat this whole.
Yeah, I think he's using it in the wrong context. Handheld is where you give loads and loads, like basically what they did with Survivor. We all the like things that they're giving them off hook. That's holding the hand, you know, making the killer play like specific way. That's not hand holding.
Sequence over and over again. And one of the things that, you know, we came to realize after the last BTB is that goes against some of our core pillars. One of our core pillar is chaos. And, you know, not chaos in the sense that everything is all over the place, but things are unpredictable, right? The player has, and the second one is player agency. So the player has control in how they want to play the game and how they want to approach each different.
They're contradicting themselves again. Well, what happens if you want to just face camp? I'm not saying it's a good thing, but what happens if you want to face camp? You can't do that. What happens if you want to tunnel someone off hook? You're just going to get punished by it. It's like he's contradicting himself again. Like they're saying these are the things we believe in, these are our principles, and then they're just shitting on them the next second.
Scenario. And I think that's really important. And
you think it's really important, but you making it so people can't do it. Like
unpredictable chaos comes from those player decisions. And so if we put a feature in that removes that, then we are not true to our core pillars. And that's usually a no-go for things in game development. So.
Dude, we like people being able to do loads of different things. That's why we're making it so they can't do loads of different things. I get so lost with these guys.
All right. This is the last slide for tunneling specifically. The following perks and add-ons will be updated. So Furtive Chase, Babysitter, Borrowed Time, Breakdown.
Meaningless, because I know they won't tell us anything.
Being hooked, it doesn't make sense to keep these in the game. So again, these will for these. There's
I don't know why.
stuff,
Like
helpful and
wait, did I? Okay.
Helps.
I don't know why, because they've got it here, so they could literally say, "This is what this does. This is what this does. This is what this does." But they don't. They just do this.
They've been in the game for
They
a
do it
while.
all the time.
They've been very strong.
I'm not even going to speculate.
It's not like, you know,
Yes,
so.
yes. Case for this because slugging. So
So they're doing slugging as well. What's changed here, by the way?
Slugging is usually described as putting a survivor in the dying state and leaving them there. Now there is slugging, which is for pressure. So here we have, that's Dwight, by the way, that's in the dying state. And the Skull Merchant is, seeing that there's a Nia on the side, just maybe waiting for a flashlight save, who knows. So she decides to chase the Nia. So that's slugging for pressure.
Need to.
And then you have the more evil Skull Merchant. Here she has slugged 4 Dwights, and they're all in the dying state.
They can just abandon. They can just abandon. That's what they do anyway. You've got a solution for it, they abandon. So... okay.
So the first one is good. We like that. This is a good thing. The second one, not so much.
Yeah, also why? They've got all 4 of them. Your game's about killing, not hooks. You understand that, right? You balance everything on kills.
So, back with some data. Overall, killers across all MMR tend to slug for about 30 seconds. So that's time spent in the dying state for survivors. And overall, high MMR survivors spend less time in the
Because they pick each other up more efficiently, makes sense.
dying state at 26 seconds, which means that higher MMR survivors...
Also, isn't this kind of like going against their whole point of why they need anti-slug? If on average, people are only on the floor for 30 seconds, and when they're actually good, they're on the floor for 26 seconds, why do they need anti-slug? Isn't this like just going against the whole point of why they're putting anti-slug in? Aren't they like debunking the whole point of it? One sec. This is what I mean with the contradictions. For less skills. No, this is all MMR.
Pipe. You get to keep that and Lickage. Thank you for continuing to watching there. Appreciate.
I am still live, like her Smiley, yeah. I need to stop soon, but this is going on longer than I anticipated. Appreciate the 59 month.
I thought I was clicking on one of your videos, but turns out it was your live stream. So here I am, true 3 Chike.
Appreciate it, man.
will go for those pickups.
This is debunking the whole
faster
point
or
why
more
they're
efficiently, by picking
doing
perks or whatever.
slugging, anti-slugging.
Anyway, that's what happens.
How does he show these stats? How is he like, so guys, on average, when you're good at Survivor, you're only on the floor for 26 seconds on average. So, let's do anti-tunnel stuff. Let's make it where you can get up. Like, how does he do that?
Damn, that is a bud.
Top of the 85 months.
So if we look at the comparison between January and now, we do see that survivors spend less time in the dying state. So this is 35 seconds in January.
It's a very, very, very little amount, yeah.
And then it went down to 34 seconds in June, and now it's down to 30 seconds.
And they literally can be on the floor for... It's 4 minutes in it. Is it 4 minutes? Or is it 2? I can't remember. Is it 4 minutes? So what percent is that? One eighth of the time. So on average, they're on the floor for 1/8 of the time that they can be on the floor for. That sounds like a really small amount.
And then the other
And I'm assuming that's throughout the whole match as well.
thing that's really interesting is that in January, there was about 4% of matches that would have bleed outs in them. So that's when you would fully die from being slugged, when your bleed out meter would just empty. And that's down to 2%, and it has been consistent with the release of the abandoned feature.
Well, yeah, obviously. Because when everyone abandons, the killer either is going to pick up the bots or they're going to abandon themselves. This is just obvious stuff.
So since the abandoned feature, we've seen a pretty significant drop in the time spent, the bleed out occurrence for survivors.
Yeah, because they abandon.
And now this is really interesting as well, is the map with the highest time spent slugged is the game. I have tried to understand why or how since I put this in the slide, and I am still not sure.
It's probably because it's a small map, so when someone's on the floor, it's hard to get them picked up because the killer's nearby. It's also hard to know where the killer is with the terror radius. So it's probably that. If you had to pick something, it could just be random. It has to be some map, doesn't it?
Like, is it the layout of the map that makes it more difficult to find your teammates? I don't know, but it's the highest. And the lowest, which is contrary to what we had with the camping portion, is RCPD West Wing at 28 seconds, which is also...
Okay, so if 31 seconds is the highest and 28 seconds is the lowest, there's probably like 30.9, 30.8, 30.7, 30.6, and also 28.1, 28.2. So it's probably just random. It has to be some map that's going to have the longest kind of slug-in. It literally could just be random because it's so like minute, like milliseconds in it. It might just be random.
Interesting, because I'm pretty sure that one might be more confusing for survivors. I don't know.
Everybody's yelling pallets.
Palace for the game?
Yeah,
That makes no sense.
they're just shouting the word pallets. That's
I mean, I'm glad that they like
you'd like to
pallets,
know
you
that.
know, that's cool. So what are the goals for the slugging update? Obviously, our intentions...
So after saying that they're on for 26 seconds on the floor, which is less than an eighth of the time that they can be on the floor for, here is the slugging update, because it's needed, apparently, even though they just said it isn't, pretty much.
The start was to target excessive slugging while retaining slugging for pressure. So remember the skull merchant who was chasing...
It's almost like it's a narrative once again. It don't really happen where everyone's slugging all the time. What was that, 2%? 2% of the games? Sounds like a narrative, doesn't it?
Chasing Nia and, leaving Dwight on the ground. That's good. That's slugging for pressure.
Sounds like people don't excessively slug every single game, and it's just a fake narrative.
And we did have some key learnings from the previous PTB. So the first one was that players found that crawling while recovering was too strong. So
Yeah.
For a bit of context,
Insane.
in the previous PTB, survivors could recover, they recovered automatically while crawling. So you could move while recovering, which allowed you to reposition while also getting ready to be picked up. And it was very strong. And players were also faced with lose-lose scenarios because with the tunneling reduction feature and the penalties that were there, you couldn't get someone out because they were the last one that you hooked, but you also couldn't slug them because they could just pick themselves up. So that's a bit of an oversight on our part, but now this time that is not the case. So again, test it out.
I mean, it's because when you're doing it, you're just thinking about how do we make this fun for Survivor? So you don't think about the negative aspects of what's going to happen to the killer, do you? You have to wait for us to tell you.
And, give us your feedback.
I will say,
Yes.
Jeff didn't do the pallet density stuff, so he's not going to speak to the pallet density stuff.
Oh yeah, no.
People are.
Right.
Sorry, not me, not yet.
Who the fuck
We'll
did
get Annie back
that?
out here. She can give you an update.
So the next one is that the players felt the time to fill the resolve bar was too short. So on the previous PTB, if I remember correctly, it was 90 seconds. Which
Short?
It is pretty short. But in the next PTB, it'll be 120 seconds.
That's
So
longer.
for a bit of reference, the bleed out timer for Survivor
okay, yeah,
is 240 seconds. So this will take half of your bleed out timer to fill, which is
Right.
quite significant. However, it will fill 33% faster for each additional survivor in the dying state. So if a killer is indeed slugging a little bit more than for just pressure, well, they risk a slug or multiple slugs getting back up and away.
This is so stupid, dude. Only 2% of the games have all 4 people bleed out. So it's super rare. yet you're doing an anti-slug thing anyway. And what was it? They only stay on the ground for what, 26 seconds at high MMR? It just doesn't. None of it makes any sense, man.
So once the resolve bar is full, the survivor will be able to pick themselves up for the rest of the trial. However, they need to fill their recovery meter every single time. You can't just like pick yourself back up.
Wow, yeah, you're right. So I saw bits of this and I thought, you know what? It doesn't sound too bad, that. Because I thought it was they need to get 120 seconds every single time for the resolve bar, but it isn't. Once they've got it, they have unlimited unbreakable. So the only difference here is they've made it 120 seconds instead of 90, but if you down more people, it might even be faster than 90 seconds, depending on how many people you down, like Oni, for example, or twins or something, right? And then once they have that, they have unlimited unbreakable again forever. They don't have the speed up, do
The
they?
moment you're down.
Is that it? They still have the speed with the crawling. Why? Why do they need that? They can't crawl while recovering. I bet the resolve bar goes up though, Jack. Comedic timing. Why do they need the crawl speed? Actually, does he say?
And then the last part is the crawling speed of a survivor will increase over time while in a dying state, and it will go up to 1 meter, 1.05 meters per second.
Why?
So here's a comparison of the normal time a resolve bar takes to fill, so when you're the only survivor in the dying state, versus 2 additional survivors in the dying state. So as you can see, the trapper's taking the time to down I think that's a Claudette, I can't see from here. Yeah, that's a Claudette. And Dwight, and in the first clip, Meg is just, moving around, and then she stops, and she's like, oh shit, I gotta recover. So now she's recovering, and the resolve bar is still filling. It's very hard to see on that monitor because it's so tiny. I should have maybe put that bigger, but anyway. Right, I had to put that there because I accidentally showed something that wasn't supposed to be shown, but it's fine. You didn't see anything. And so as you can see, the resolve bar is still filling. The Meg on the right should be about halfway, if my eyes are not deceiving me. I think that's...
So the issue with this is this first part isn't too bad. Still, they don't need it. They don't need it. But the issue is, and this is what you need to kind of realize. Oh, it does that, so you can't see it.
Because
Okay, wait.
in the first
I'll have to show you on this
Meg is
one.
just,
Okay, so once the resolve bar is fully done, once it's done, this is how quick they're going to get up, okay? So when this grey gets to there, that's when they can get up. You ready?
moving around, and then she stops.
That's what
She's
it's gonna
"Oh,
turn
shit, I gotta
into.
recover." So now she's recovering, and the resolve bar is still
This is how
filling.
fast they'll get up
It's very
once
hard
the
to see on that monitor 'cause it's
resolve
so
bar
tiny.
is,
I should have maybe put that bigger, but
done.
anyway.
So every single time they're
Right, I
down,
had to
this is
put
how
that
fast they'll
there
get up.
because I accidentally showed something that wasn't supposed to be shown, but it's fine. You didn't see anything.
And
So as you can see, the resolve bar is still filling. The Meg on the right should be about halfway, if my eyes are not deceiving me.
boom, she's up.
I think that's what it is. Anyway, sorry, it's a bit long. It's 120 seconds for the left one, so I'm just gonna yap away. How's everyone's day going?
Yeah, well,
I'm
it's
not gonna
we're
fall
say
for your
it's
bullshit. It's pretending that it takes
super hard.
ages.
With her resolvers, and I think she's just about to get there. There we go. She
Wow,
just
it's
finally
all
got the
forever. Now
ability
it's all
to pick
fine.
herself back up.
Believe me, because I'm exaggerating it.
And I'm sorry I forgot to put the perk icon for this one, but the only perk update for this will be tenacity. And for all the perk and add-on changes, we'll point you to the patch notes whenever they're out, sometime in the next few weeks. And again, when you have the feedback, please do share it.
There definitely were some, before you got to Tenacity, some big Tenacity fans in the chat that, that wanted to hear about it, so shout out to them. Jeff, please take a breather. You're not done, though. But we're going to take a Jeff break and hand it over to Justin.
Yes.
Jeff, thank you so much.
I give you the clip.
Works properly first.
Yeah.
Auto Haven. So.
I saw this. I saw the tail end of this thing.
Now, if you notice,
So this is where they make it where it's lighter, by the way.
so on the left you have adjusted the lighting and
Max, because I literally
to properly to polish this, get this one.
Also-
on here is
A separate
the auto haven, and I don't have Steve for the most.
Some
Freddy Fazbear's Pizza.
Yeah, whatever. Oh, this was stupid. Check this, right? Check this, because I did see this. So, right, watch, just listen, and I'll tell you.
I should have put RCP on
Wait.
all. If you see. So what we did here is we took a look at the most liked and the most disliked.
The most liked and the most disliked maps of all of DBD, right? But watch.
And so really took both of these into account for how players rated each map. Now, if you see a map here that you didn't get a chance to answer on, that's normal. Players were only given 5 maps from the total to answer. Otherwise,
They were only given 5 maps to choose from. Meaningless. Meaningless. And then the reason being,
if you have you answering on all the maps, you are never finishing the survey.
you literally just click it. You look for the map that you like, and you click it. What do you mean you're never finishing the survey? I remember seeing that. I was like, what? You just click it.
This might challenge some perceptions here.
No, it won't.
Are we going to add that?
These are literally the only 5 maps you can choose. So, yeah.
From hearing the maps, it tweaks your second round. I'll have a playing, and just gives you a lot more fun. Haven, this helps.
That's what I
So here because variety of.
Excited for people to know.
Yes, so we feel that the
Chile is in the
so yeah, that's
There's something I want to show you. What I remember seeing, and it kind of gives you the idea what I'm talking about when I talk about reshade.
so the setting. Presenting the way of presenting the settings.
Look, they're trying to look like a normal game with like normal settings. It's so funny.
Also, if better for play instead of just being clicking.
Ooh, yeah, you can move it nice. Sliders.
Put the volume
Damn.
down. And this is
Crazy.
for the user. And
Here we go. So this is interesting as well, by the way, because I think they're going to do red glow on this, but they don't show the red glow thing. So they're kind of hiding it, but I think they're going to. This is going to be well bad for weak killers. This is like game destroying for weak killers. If they make this with a red glow on weak killers, you're fucked. You're fucked. Like, color makes a massive difference, man. It's not as bad as reshade, because reshade, you basically can... What would I say? Technically, it's still there, but you can make stuff visible, which you shouldn't really be able to see, right? So it's not as bad, but you just look at this. This isn't even as crazy as reshade, but look how much color does, right?
because
Watch this. And this is just scratch marks. It doesn't show the red glow. They're definitely going to do red glow, though, I reckon.
are testing in this PTV.
But check
letting
this.
you all
Check this.
Customize the color that you want to have on.
Watch how more noticeable it is. It's actually unreal. And now imagine it as red glow.
This is something that all players are going to be able to see.
People with reshade are going to be able to fuck with this and make probably the red glow even more insane. They could go like cyan or whatever, and then go into the reshade settings and just make it like neon cyan or something. Like, it'll be fucking insane, I bet.
But it's also very interesting for me as a killer main.
You just won the stream. You're the winner.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. Look at the difference.
It's just what I said there.
Yep.
Look at that. Yeah. Just changing the color, right?
So this is an example of the left side with how it is with. The
And I think it
color
shows.
red.
I think it shows it moving. I can't remember. Let's see.
Bigger on the right side. It's one of the colors applied. This type of cyan color. If someone would like to have that, even now, I must say I don't. And we can see using another color how this could be in this room even.
There, look at that. So look at that color there, right? And then look at the red one. And now imagine red glow.
And the way we are doing it is allowing you to go even during.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. It shows it.
because
Watch.
We're testing this.
Hot damn.
If you didn't
Boom.
know we're testing this, and being able to change it and doing it mid game.
But the thing is, with Killer, it won't really be that crazy, in my opinion, because following red, like scratch marks and stuff, when you're good at Killer, you kind of just do it. Like it's quite rare that you'll lose someone with scratch marks. The thing I'm scared about is the red glow, and they don't mention it because it isn't there yet, but I'm pretty sure if they're doing it on scratch marks, they're doing it on red glow. They're 100% doing it on red glow, and that's what's going to be fucking scary.
That's very cool.
Yeah, and this is going
Right?
to allow
That's a
us
bad
to
one.
also, all players to go and change the color per map and to try it out, see which one works better for all maps, or maybe they would like to have it change it per map. All these things we would love to know. How do they use it? Is this interesting or not? Or are they okay with just...
I think they're doing this because they're trying to push a lot of kind of reshade in for console players, right? They've done it with the Gamma, and now they're doing it with this. Like, they're slowly putting in the kind of like their version of reshade into the game, aren't they?
one color, etc. And the neat thing is that even with this little
That's what
white
I
one,
think.
you can still see it to find a sneaky bot survivor just decided to go into a locker there. So another example that we have there.
It'll never beat
is
Reshade.
on
Reshade's
the
insane.
Macmillan State. So you can see also a comparison on a popular
Red,
jet
and
darker
then-
map. Here you're using another sort of colors. But by
Yellow,
the way, since we're in this phase of continuous improvement, we are always trying to find how to make from little...
Zion looks like the
things
insane
better,
one.
and we're testing these things out. Colors may vary, and we are going to be adding perhaps more colors if this is necessary, if you players want it.
Lots of purple requests.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Well, we
Lots of
are
Prince-
adding a purple.
lots
in
of Prince
fact.
fans
Yes,
in here.
Yes, it's most probably that we're going to go out with a purple. Don't quote me on that, as I'm quoting Justin, having said don't quote me on that. But yeah, purple is one of the ones that we have noticed that could be better. So that's the...
They're probably saying
possible
purple 'cause of
scratch
Twitch.
mark. I hope everyone can really test it out and make most of it. So
Go. There was another.
I mean, and I'm super.
I think that's all they say, right?
people that have...
You forget them.
yeah.
They don't mention the palette density, even though they said they were going to, right?
But one part, we are, and you're going to see the neat video. And disclaimer, as always, no video immediately to the main. Get this.
Children.
No.
I can't keep.
Sorry, I'm just.
Why is she randomly like
My
that?
there are some earlier silly. Good job, chat. October down.
Oh yeah, Skull
2024.
Merchant.
Pretty sure it's
They're not gonna do anything. They're not doing the rework. They're doing a small like buff thing. I'm gonna finish it there because holy shit, I've been fucking